Literature review. How does Instagram psychologically affect adolescents in Western society? Introduction. Over the last decade, social media has become an extremely popular platform for adolescents to share images, videos, thoughts, quotes, and feelings with the masses. One of Instagram's original purposes was to allow users to share images and short video clips with their friends and family. Over the years, Instagram has become one of the top social media platforms where adolescents are constantly looking to increase their followers, keep up with the latest fad diets, fashion, and relationship status of their favorite celebrities. In the grand scheme of things, Instagram allows users to access essentially anything and everything from anywhere, but at what cost? Does Instagram negatively affect user self-esteem? Is Instagram at fault for the breakdown in positive, long-lasting romantic relationships? Can depression and anxiety be directly linked to an adolescent's Instagram usage? Can Instagram be blamed for its users' body image concerns? Maybe Instagram is just getting the blame for all of these issues. Is there research that directly supports the idea that Instagram usage has a negative effect on psychological functioning of its adolescent users in Western society? This literature review will explore the different research that has been conducted and resources that are available around the psychological effects that Instagram has on its adolescent users. Methodology. This literature review includes findings from 10 different sources. All of the information in this literature review has a publication date between 2015 and 2018. Our sources include journal articles, research papers, and other additional findings were sourced from news articles and blog posts, as we found research specific to Instagram and its adolescent users to be very hard to come by. We suspect this is due to Instagram being a relatively newer social media app within the last 7 years. Group members performed web-based searches using the following databases: Google Scholar, UIT Library, and the Pickering Public Library. Findings. The themes and subthemes identified throughout the research are as follows: body image, mental health, with the subthemes of depression, anxiety, relationships, and self-esteem. The authors identified the theme of body image as it relates to Instagram users and the negative psychological impact that it has on their physical self-image. Mental health, including subthemes of depression and anxiety, and how the research highlights the negative impact that Instagram has on its users. Relationships, identifying the negative impact that Instagram has on a successful, positive relationship with a romantic partner. Self-esteem suggests that Instagram directly affects its users' self-esteem and self-confidence in a negative manner. The findings suggest that Instagram has a negative psychological impact on its users based on the themes and subthemes identified in this literature review. Theme: body image. The study conducted by Clemens, Dalmans, Karbat, and Auschwitz suggests the viewing altered images on Instagram negatively impacts adolescent users' body image. The study also found that image posted of celebrities or retouched images of women on Instagram negatively impact adolescent users, specifically girls' body image. Adolescent girls are at an increased risk of body image insecurities as they become more exposed to these retouched and edited images of perfect bodies on Instagram. Adolescent Instagram users, quote, experience a contrast between themselves and the thin, idolized models, and that leads to lower body satisfaction. The theme of mental health. Subtheme: depression. The article, Why Instagram is the Worst Social Media for Mental Health, written by Amanda McMillan, states that all that glitters is not gold. This nugget of wisdom has become particularly appropriate in the current environment of social media, Instagram being very popular and found its users carefully curating their online presence. In spite of the content highlighting vacations and moments of enjoyment and achievement, Instagram has been associated with depression and FOMO, the fear of missing out. The study, completed by Reese and Danforth 2017, determined that there is a direct relationship between an Instagram user's post, the amount of comments received, the amount of posts, the color of their images, the presence of others in their images, and depression. Depressed Instagram users, according to the study, were more likely to edit or filter their posted images. The research also suggested that Instagram users who were depressed had a higher posting rate than those who were not. The subtheme of anxiety. The Royal Society of Public Health explored the idea of how social media has led to an increase in anxiousness amongst youth in this day and age in their article, #Status of Mind. Specifically, the study emphasizes the effect of Instagram in relation to its users' anxiety. The real area for concern is that this range of adolescence and early adulthood is known to be a crucial period for social and emotional development. The study completed by the RSPH suggests that 1 out of 6 young people experience anxiety disorder at some point. That particular stat has increased almost 70% in the past quarter century. The formula is quite simple, as social media sets to unrealistic expectations for its users, and while trying to reach them, we stumble upon feelings of low self-esteem, self-consciousness, and an urge to be perfect, all of what contribute to feelings of anxiety. At the center of this is Instagram, not only because of its popularity, but also because of the fact that it plays on the formula in the simplest and strongest of ways. The basic idea revolves around the posting of pictures which are simple to interpret, thus allowing more data to be absorbed, with the majority of it causing us to look at ourselves more critically and constantly comparing ourselves to others, which in turn contributes to a higher level of anxiety amongst users. The theme of relationships. The study completed by Clayton and Ridgway 2016 determined that there is a negative impact on romantic relationships of its users and the amount of Instagram selfies posted. Instagram usage, according to this study, has a negative impact on romantic relationships. A quote, excessive monitoring, verbal disputes, jealousy, or connecting with others, Ridgway and Clayton 2016. Via Instagram tends to cause friction in relationships and ultimately leads to the dissolution of the relationship. The study also suggested that through the testing of an Instagram user's body image satisfaction directly relates to the amount of selfies that are posted, and the amount of selfies that are posted is directly related to negative romantic relationship outcomes. The theme of self-esteem. The research study completed by Hawaii and Sama showed that the students who scored higher on social media addiction reported lower levels of self-esteem. This study also concluded that students, regardless of culture, with self-identified lower levels of self-esteem tend to rely more on social media. These results showed the vicious cycle of Instagram users with lower self-esteem, thinking that Instagram use would help boost their self-esteem when in reality it had the opposite effect. The study also found that Instagram users who access the platform with the intention of enhancing their self-image are at risk of not only lowering their self-esteem, but also the satisfaction with life as well. The conclusion. The limited scholarly research, resources, and findings suggest that the topic of Instagram and the negative psychological effect on its users is a relatively newer concept. During the research process, the authors noticed very limited peer review or scholarly resources available. More information on this topic is desired, and the authors feel as time goes on, more information will become available. While reviewing all the research that was sourced for this literature review, it is clear that Instagram has a negative psychological effect on its users. As a direct result of using Instagram, users are developing negative body image ideas, becoming depressed and anxious, finding that Instagram is negatively affecting their relationships and is causing them to have lower self-esteem. The limited research also unveiled that there is still a large amount of research that needs to take place. The articles sourced for this literature review were very hard to come by and very limited. The author found it difficult to identify Canadian-specific resources and had to broaden the research scope to include Western society as a whole in order to identify and locate the research needed for this review. It is imperative that Instagram users are made aware of these findings so they are able to find and access the supports they need to achieve optimal, healthy psychological successes. Questions to think about. Number 1. Do you feel personally influenced by social media? Number 2. What are some ways we can support adolescents when and if they are affected by Instagram use? And number 3. What are some positive benefits of Instagram, if any? Personal reflection. Working as a group naturally has its benefits and challenges. Throughout the literature review writing process, our group had some highs and some lows. I found we worked very well together, focusing on every group member's strengths, relying on each other for support, and knowing everyone had a key part to play in the process. At times, our group struggled to find resources and research that related to our topic. This caused us to rejig our research question a few times, having to broaden our searches. All of the group members shared resources and worked well together. Through discussions, brainstorming, and many editing stages, we were able to finally complete this assignment. This was a large, daunting assignment. We found ourselves constantly questioning what we know and the path that we were on. But through our great communication and teamwork, we were able to write and put together a great project.